going to take all the fun of that if we put it in here.
Is those
altitude.
Those antenna lights again?
So they're at 1,100 feet, 1050 I think, and we're at 2650 right now. So let's go down to 2500 because we have airspace nearby. Actually, we have airspace above us that's 4,000, and we're going into the 3,000 in a second.
Priority in the pattern.
Yeah, so let's just put it back down to 2,500 and just hang there for a minute. And you can see we're way above the Chiselhurst Towers there.
Left base 2 got a copy.
If you could, I don't want to reach in front of you because you got a video running.
Good.
Can you hand me that checklist? I'm going to keep my hand here until we land.
For the banner drop 2-4 Lakewood.
So, you already looked at this, so you know what we're getting ready to do.
Yeah.
So,
Blue Cessna, right base to extended final, number 2-4 Lakewood.
Our soft field landing is going to be 30 degrees of flaps, which is our maximum flaps in this plane. And we're going to be at 65 knots on final. And we're probably going to approach a little steeper, so there's no VASI or PAPI light here. You good with this, or you need?
It's right in my face. There we go.
Is that good?
Perfect.
So there's no VASI or PAPI, so this is one of those times where we're going to be using judgment about, hey, how high are we, how fast are we, what do we have to do to get down to the runway? And the other reason we're doing this is, if you had an emergency right now and you had to land in that little field down there, or right behind you, look out your window back 30 degrees, if you had to glide over there and land in one of those farm fields, we're actually practicing so you would know how to do that and have the best chance of survival. And really it involves getting the nose down at the slowest possible airspeed, because if you're coming down the runway and you touch down at 60 knots, 65 knots, and that nose wheel drops into soft grass or soil, the plane's going to flip right over. And you would get seriously hurt if you flip something over going 50 or 60 knots. If you can get it down, and the deceleration is unbelievably quick when you land in grass, so it's like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, now we're only going 20 knots, so we're just holding that wheel off the ground.
Is that the power plant down there?
That is the Salem nuclear plant, and Cape May is directly out in front of us.
3 mile initial at 3,500 feet.
And what's really deceiving is,
right downwind 2-4.
I was just down near the Delaware Memorial Bridges the other day, and that's Cape May, but the Delaware Memorial Bridge is way the hell down there.
Yeah, it's way over there. Well, the parkway runs south,
3 miles to your
or turnpike, I mean.
northeast. Going to be doing some maneuvers.
Is that good?
Over traffic.
I'm good there.
This one actually has a little bit, no, I guess not.
Switch 2-4, possible engine failure. I see a guy on the downwind. Can you turn right out of the pattern for me? Call cease traffic 2 minutes from 5,000 feet.
Okay, so we just crossed into a new airspace. There's a shelf of the Class B overlying us at 3,500 feet, so we're good at 2,500 all the way down. And you just want to keep that centered, so if the needle is on that side, you can, just make there's echo. You can just make a very gradual, in this case, I wouldn't turn it more than 10 or 15 degrees just to re-intercept the course.
Now, would you yaw a little too? Sometimes?
You mean with the rudder?
Yeah.
Well, all I would do is just turn the plane back onto the course. So I'm going to use the rudder and the aileron at the same time. You can do whatever you want. I mean, if you just want to try doing it with the rudder, it's going to create drag though. But there's nothing the matter with, giving that a try if you want. So you can see the needle's already coming back in, and you're going to have to turn back a little bit to the right in order to stay, because that line runs out that way, and you're just re-intercepting it and then getting back on it. There could be what was the wind direction when we left?
I thought it was 2-something.
2,700 over traffic.
But it was light. So the runway we're going to land on is, every time I bring somebody down here, they're like, where's the runway? So
traffic, yellow cup turning final.
It's not going to really be apparent where the runway is until we're on final approach. You have to get lined up with it. We're going to fly a normal pattern though. So I'll give you the frequency for the Vineland Downtown Airport. You can enter that. Frequency down there is 1228, so you got nothing to do. You're all good.
This one?
You're already set.
Good.
And the runway is runway 2, and 20, so we're probably going to be landed on runway 2. It looks like there's no wind down here.
Yeah.
We could actually land either way because that's so insignificant. But runway 2 would be coming back this way. So we'll probably fly left-hand pattern and land on 2. I just want to make sure it is in fact the left-hand pattern. I don't think there's any right traffic down there. There's nothing mentioned.
Wow. Southeast traffic jump is in the air at 5,000 and below you.
So our runway is only about 2,200 feet long, 2,250. That's actually pretty long to land on. You're going to see how quickly we could stop. It's taken off again. That's what we've got to worry about. So you seem like you're pretty comfortable with this, right?
Yeah.
Good.
So basically, you know, when it's the CDI, you're just kind of chasing it when it goes off.
Well, I always tell everyone, like, get it centered, and then you can take another small adjustment after you get situated. You want to get on the course, then you can make a small adjustment if needed. You don't want to be chasing that thing back and forth all day. And you'll find that when you have a GPS, these things are way more sensitive, and sometimes they're old, and I guess they get hot, and they work. You know, if you had 2 VOR heads in this plane, they would probably both be reading something slightly different right now.
Now, in this one, you didn't set the destination.
No, and the reason I didn't is it really takes putting it in the GPS, you're not using the VOR, you're actually using the GPS waypoint that is where the VOR is. Yeah. And then it's going to give you a distance, and it's too easy. So we're not going to use this today. I want you to fly the VOR. Because once you learn how to do this, the VOR is really a backup at this point. Especially if you're going to be flying a plane with a glass cockpit soon. So I will tell you we're about 12 miles away, so we still have 5 miles before we need to get too worried about anything. And I think we're going to be doing a left downwind for coming back and landing on runway 2. Actually, do I have the right one in there? Runway 2 and, sorry, we might be landing on, yeah, that was correct. Not 12:30, we want to land on runway, there's the longer one, which is 2 and 20. It's kind of weird, it actually shows the other runway as the preferred landing. Even though it's shorter. Oh, I see why it's doing that, because that one's got a better headwind, crosswind, but we can't land there. It's really for agricultural purpose only.
Yeah, we hit some kind of like little updraft there for a second.
So if you want to just recenter that, you can turn it and then just find the heading again. So we're off by about 30 degrees from where we should be headed right now. So we want to be flying that heading, which is 210.
All right.
And that says 26, and that says approximately 25. So we'll take that for a twist when you get straight and level here. That's getting much closer to the actual heading now. We're up a little bit high, so this is a parkway, I think, here, or is this Route 30, or is this just some
power lines? That's probably...
No, there's more than power lines.
72 maybe?
It could be Route 30, right? The Black Horse Pike, or is it a railroad? No, it's not a railroad track, is it? I don't know, I think that's... How could we be passing Route 30 if we haven't passed the Parkway yet, or the Parkway is right up here?
Well, we're by Hamilton.
That's the Parkway. Or the Atlantic City Expressway.
There we go.
That's what I meant, Expressway. I always get those confused. Okay, so we're out of the Class B shelf. We're out from under it, so we're still in the mode C-Veil, but we're outside of the overlying areas. And you're doing a really good job. The airport is directly in front of you, so knowing that it's all centered right now, pick something out on the horizon and just, fly to it. All right. You're 7 miles away.
Tower?
Yeah. One thing we could do is say, hey, we don't know where the airport is. We have to find it using a VOR. If we had 2 VORs, then we could really find it easily. We could triangulate. But I can tell you, you're 7 miles away, so I believe that grass opening up there is Vineland Downtown Airport, but I can't see it. I think I see the VOR. The VOR is actually on the far side of the runway, in the middle of the runway, and I believe that's it right in front of us.
Now, do we pass the VOR and we'll see a front flag or anything?
So I don't think we should do that, because you're going to see the VOR long before we get there visually. So you're actually, if you fly to that opening up there, I think I'm starting to see the VOR pretty clearly now. So the runway goes like this. Yeah. That's runway 220. We're going to go out that way. Come in on a, you don't even need to come in on a 45 because there's not going to be anybody here. We're going to go an upwind, base, and final for runway 2. So you'll be landing back this way. So let's go ahead and set your heading indicator to 230 right now. That's pretty close. Mine says we're tracking 219 right now, but
220 on mine.
So that is in fact the airport right there. So we're going to land back. Actually, you know what? I kind of like landing the other direction. And the wind is like 0 here.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's land with a 1 knot tailwind. So we'll go upwind, crosswind, downwind, base, and final, and we'll land this way. So can you see that strip of grass now?
Right here?
It's not this one, it's the one out there. And you're going to be a little closer now. So